we were just, we were getting by. And YouTube just, honestly, like, we were blessed. We were beyond blessed with the amount of money that we made out of YouTube.
So even he admits that they were beyond blessed with the amount of money they made on YouTube. Again, this begs me to ask you once again, sir, why does she need to work? So now shots are fired again. Social media is still to this day her primary source of income and has been mine too up until recently. So without social media, I don't know where either of us would be. First of all, sir, why are you monitoring her pockets? How do you know what's her income and what's not? And why is it any of your business 4 years later after you done split up with her? According to your video, you said that you ended things with her, right? Why are you monitoring her pockets? Why are you minding her financial business when it is no longer of your concern? That's what I need answers to, because you done answered everything else but that. Talking about it's my primary source of income and it's still hers too. That's none of your business. Worry about what your income is and how you gonna feed your children, not about her. That ain't got nothing to do with you. This is what I talk about when I say monitoring spirits. He is watching her every move 4 years later, and then has the nerve to wonder why she didn't want to tell him about where their daughters went to school. Why are you fixated on what she's doing? How do you know how she's getting her money? For all you know, you don't know if she got a job. How you know? How do you know, sir? Who's telling you this intel? What we do care about, though, is when he said Nikki was in touch with her ex-boyfriend while they were married. He said, I discovered these messages the same day she was actually with him. She had even gone to the extent of messaging him through an alternative Facebook account, thinking I would never find out. As far as I knew, this guy was completely out of her life, and yes, I have receipts.
The reason Nikki and I broke up was I discovered she had been unfaithful. She'd been going behind my back with her ex-boyfriend, and I'd been warned about him being an issue before I started dating Nikki again. And the first year of our marriage, I discovered that she had been secretly keeping in contact with him.
All right, so he's accusing her of infidelity during their marriage. And he had suspicions that she was talking to him at the beginning of their marriage, and then he nipped it in the bud, and then this man resurfaced afterwards. Now, I do not condone cheating at all. I think that once it gets to the point where you feel like you have to cheat, it's better to just end the relationship at that point. So he's heard about that. This is what he's heard about. He's heard that she cheated on him. And you know what's so crazy about the whole situation is that when they first got together, he cheated on her. It's so crazy how things come full circle now, isn't it? Now he goes into how he told his parents when he discovered that she was allegedly cheating, and he told one friend, and then he said that Nikki had to do a damage control campaign, and she reached out to all his friends and family and tried to pit his parents against him and his friends against him. Then he also went on to say that she never wanted to hang out with his friends and that she never tried to get close to his parents. Again, that's not what was portrayed on the vlogs. This is where I was talking about not letting your in-laws in your house too much, because this is what sis shouldn't have done. And I'm glad that now she's in a healthier relationship, and I hope that she's learned her lesson with that. But Nikki should have never let his mom in her house like that. His mom was there, but on his side. His mom was not a neutral party. Because of the way that they responded to this whole situation, that lets me know that they were never in it for her for real. And and rightfully so. That is their son. However, it was naive of Nikki to believe that she would be able to reason with the people in his life. Those are his family and friends. Their allegiance and alliance lies with him, not with you. And even if she was right, and even if, you know, she was explaining things, and even if she was telling the truth, they're not going to want to hear that. They're automatically on his side. And being that his mom was in and out of that house all the time, always in the mix, she's going to have her own narrative of what happened, even if her son was in the wrong. That's why I'm saying these dynamics are very important to learn before you get married. How close is this man with his mother? Does his mother hold him accountable? These are all very important questions to ask. Because once you start dealing with a mother-in-law who enables her son, then you're going to get this kind of situation. And unfortunately, now they're all demonizing her. And he's spinning the narrative as if, oh, she's saying all these bad things about me and she was lying about me. How do we know she was lying? She could have been telling the truth for all we know. We don't know. And we'll never get to know. And unfortunately, his family will always see her as the villain because that's what was painted by him. Now he talking about, oh, his mama would come over and do almost all the housework. Please. Please. Let's be for real. First of all, you probably invited her over to help. And I feel like it was more you than Nikki. I don't think that she invited your mama over like that. She has 2 children that she has to care for. And you were always out doing whatever 7 jobs that you say you doing, all these 24 hours, 7 days a week job shifts, whatever the heck you doing all damn day. So who can she lean on? So you called your mom over to help buffer the situation because she's probably like, hey, you need to help out more. And you're like, well, I got my mom here and she can help you out. That's what you did. Let's stop the lie. Stop the cap. Since you like to use AAVE words and vernacular, stop the cap. I'm sure you know what that means. Stop it. So now he talking about we're getting long emails from Nikki. Sir, what kind of dissertations were you writing in the text messages? Because were those not long? Were those not long? Your dissertations by text were so long that I didn't even know where the sentence began and ended. And all you see is a big chunk of words. But now you want to downplay her for trying to protect her image and telling her side of the story to your family. Because you done ran off and told them that she done cheated on you and she's such a bad person. For all we know, we don't know the truth, y'all. We don't know. Maybe she had a conversation with the ex and then he came out and said she cheated on him. We don't know. No one knows. And now he's trying to get the public to go against her. And he almost succeeded. But thankfully, some of us have common sense and we could see right through it. I could see right through a liar. This man is lying. And he's not telling the truth the way that it happened.
I just felt it in my heart that I had to reach out to got her own place. She's starting her life from scratch down here. It's hard for her, but it's even harder for us. Much.
So now he gets into talking about how his parents have just literally been helping him since the breakup and how his mom had to move closer to him to help out with the girls and how that's been taking a toll on her. Again, everything is a choice. Why is she moving to help out her grown-ass son? This man is in his 40s, y'all. He is older than me. Acting like he's a child. Like he needs mommy to help him. Like I said, he's a mama's boy. I could have seen. This is why older men do not like to date women their age. Because we could see through that. An older woman his age would have been able to see right through that. From the beginning, from jump, she'd have been like, this ain't right. But Nikki was younger. And he took full advantage of that. Whew. All right, what else you got to say, Jamie? What else you got to say, Jamie? Wrap it up. Wrap it up. We have 57 minutes. You better not waste the rest of this because I'm tired. I'm exhausted. All right, so now he goes into joining a community group. This group has play dates with one of his daughters, and he's able to interact with other adults. And I think that's good. That's good for him. Anything that makes his mental health better, I'm all for it. All right, so he wrote, the day Nikki came to the house and attacked me in front of my mom and refused to leave for 3 hours, Nikki had just been on top of me, punching me because I had told her that I wouldn't speak to her until we could have a calm conversation. Our counselor had told me we needed to take a 2-week break from talking until things calmed down. Nikki was furious. I was asking for 2 weeks space from talking to her about anything other than the kids and showed up at the house demanding I talk to her, which I refused. My mom had taken a child to the kitchen to get her snack to try and distract her. Nikki can be seen literally snatching her out of my mom's arms. Nikki was also accusing me of being the reason she was acting violent, and I somehow wanted this and that I also wanted a reason to leave her. Okay, so she went Diary of a Mad Black Woman on him, y'all. She was angry.
Out of the house, Nikki. Please leave. Please leave. Please leave the house, Nikki. Please leave the house. Please leave the house. Please leave the house. This is violence. You've got the kids in your hands. Leave the house right now.
This is exactly what you wanted.
Leave the house right now.
This is exactly what
Leave the
you
house.
wanted. And look, he's getting video
Leave the
evidence.
house.
He's been planning this.
Leave the house.
He's been planning
Leave the
this
house.
from day one.
Leave the
From day
house.
one.
Leave the house. The children don't deserve to see this.
I think you need to take this one. Okay, yeah. All right.
Leave the house.
You guys will never see my kids again. That is, you guys will never see my kids again. Don't ever. Ever.
That will not happen. Leave the house.
Look at you guys.
Leave the house.
Look at you guys.
Leave the house.
Look,
Leave the house. Leave the house, Nikki. Leave the
This
house.
is exactly what you wanted, Jamie.
Leave the
This
house.
is exactly what you wanted. You're actually
Leave the house.
exactly what you wanted.
This is what I've been putting up with for years. Violence. All of this. And the kids have to see it. That's a sad thing. And never taking responsibility for any of her actions. Caught out, trying to cheat on me, and then she acts like this. Instead of saying sorry, instead of trying to make it right. I'm sorry, Mom. You okay?
No, I'm not. Okay.
This whole altercation is very disturbing, by the way, and she has a family member with her that's trying to, kind of diffuse the situation. Notice how she said that he's been planning this whole time. He's been planning this to his mom. This is what he wanted. And his mom is saying, no, he hasn't. See, that's what I was talking about. The mom was the op. I've been told y'all. The mom's always going to stick up for her son no matter what, y'all. That's why it was so important for there to be a distance between them. The mom should have never been up in that house like that. Because I'm for certain that she didn't even want to hear Nikki's side of the story. She was automatically just going to side with her son, and that was it. That's just how they roll. Do I believe that physical altercations have happened between them before? Absolutely. However, do I believe that she was the only one that was instigating these altercations? Nope. This whole altercation is reminiscent of when the baby and Danny Lee had their little spat going on.
A real Matilda story type shit going on, that I tried to save my child from.
Save your child from.
She got to save her face, her family got to save her face. My family's not in the industry. Me being in the industry, that take care of my family. It's a difference.
16 years old, sorry, that's why
I didn't, when I, hey, look,
right?
yeah, I didn't, I didn't skeeted in the wrong thing. I got to deal with what come with that.
Yeah.
But my last name Kirk, is what I do.
Okay.
So I take whatever come with that, full responsibility. But shout it, it's cuckoo for Cocoa Puff.
Okay.
Shout it is cuckoo for Cocoa Puff. And shout is not my girl. Ain't never been my girl. Is my side bitch.
It's your what?
My
It's
side
your
bitch.
what?
Shout it is a certified side bitch.
It's fucking embarrassing me like that.
Shout it is a certified side
Shut
bitch.
up.
Just trying to act like
Get off
she
of
ain't.
me.
No, let's
Look
take it
what you
there.
talking about, side
Her parents know she my side bitch. Everybody knows she's a side bitch.
Y'all saw how the baby was antagonizing Danny Lay and was basically riling her up so that she would give the reaction that he wanted to give her. Now, again, I am not saying that women or men should react in such an angry and aggressive way. That is not what I'm saying at all. But sometimes when you're pushed to the limit, this is the response you're going to get. And from what I saw in the videos, he conveniently started filming at the perfect time because he didn't show what was going on before. Like I said, he's giving us parts and bits and pieces of the story. Now, I'm not calling him a liar on that because I don't know what happened in their household. Let's be clear. However, based on the information and evidence that was presented, it is not the full story. I need to see from beginning to end. Just like when cops have the little body cam videos, I need to see the interaction from beginning to end. Because sometimes you can have a suspect that's complying, and then all of a sudden the officer does something or says something and keeps poking. And then you get that reaction out of the suspect, and all of a sudden you see the suspect on the ground. And then everybody's wondering, oh, why is he so violent? Oh my God. Because he was provoked. Sis was provoked. I have no doubt about it. Sis was provoked. And it's just very sad that things ended in that way, and it got to that type of state. Her mental was gone. And also, you have to remember, her child was young at the time. So that lets me know that she was probably dealing with some type of postpartum stress on top of everything that's going on. So, listen, all I'm going to say is Jamie's not completely innocent in all of this. I'll just put it out there. They had a very toxic marriage. Very toxic marriage. So now, let's get to Nikki's side of the story. And then we are going to just briefly see Jamie's response to that and wrap this whole situation up. I'm tired, y'all. I'm tired. So after the video dropped and Nikki probably got drugged all up and down through this internet, like, sis was fighting for her life, basically. Like, people were just dragging her left and right. How could you do that? You're such a horrible person. Yada, yada, yada. And so she had to come out with her own response. So let's read her response to Jamie's allegations. Lord. Again, let's do this. All right. Nikki says, I made a video responding to the allegations and was ready to press post, but for the sake of our children, I'm not going to engage in a back and forth online. I'll share context that was missing from his video and leave the subject alone. All right, sis, we ready to hear you, girl. What's going on? I have had no contact with him since he posted that video, nor have I threatened legal action. Jamie removed the video simply because he saw that people weren't buying this story. He reposted it because it's on their channel. All right, he reposted it. I felt something wasn't right in my marriage, but I didn't know what I was experiencing. Then in June 2019, I came across a podcast, Love and Abuse, where I discovered what emotional abuse was. I made the mistake of telling him I knew he was emotionally abusive and probably a covert narc. Girl, yes. Thank you. See, I don't like to diagnose people, but that's what it is. That's what it's given, because this man is self-centered. And he's a mama's boy. Usually mama's boys lack accountability. They are the worst ones to marry. I'm telling y'all, please do not marry a mama's boy. You will regret it. They lack accountability. Now, mama's boy, in the sense of, like, if he's close to his mother, there's nothing wrong with that as long as she holds him accountable. I'm talking about the mama's boys. I'm talking about the mama's boy where he could do no wrong and he's the apple of her eye. Please run. Do not get entangled with that man. Next, I never cheated on Jamie, and he knows that, but he was quick to run a smear campaign through the community about why we broke up. All right, sis, cleared it up. I want to make it very clear that what you witnessed was reactive. I believe so. I honestly 100% believe so. He took her to the breaking point. And again, do I condone it? No. But do I understand? Yes. Because when somebody keeps provoking you and keeps threatening you, and we don't know what other things he done said to her, we got to keep it real. Sis looked like she was fed up. And if you see her demeanor throughout these years of their marriage, she has never raised her voice once. She's always very calm, cool, very happy, very giddy, especially in the beginning of their marriage. But you could see that over the years, it just kept breaking her down. And she didn't even smile towards the end of their marriage. You could just tell that she was just going through the motions and just trying to live day by day and survive. This man took a lot out of her, like an energy vampire. He literally took everything out of her. He took away her 20s. He took away her experiences. He took away her ability to actually make something of herself and have a career that she loved. He took away a future nurse. He took away a lot of things from her. And now, thank God that she got another chance to rebuild her life. But honestly, man, he was trying to break her down. And then the fact that he was trying to get the internet and the public to go against her, that is sick work, y'all. You had major news networks reporting on this. You had bloggers dragging this woman for the filth and just putting her name in such a negative light. And he didn't care about that. So let's keep reading. I want to make it very clear that what you witnessed was reactive. The clips you saw were carefully edited and didn't show what led to me smacking the phone out of his hand. Never have I punched this man or thrown heavy objects at him during our disagreements. I came to the house to collect some clothes and wanted to have a conversation. He kept calling me a slut and to get out of his house. I then requested that he drops the girls at the supermarket car park for changeover, and he says he would rather do it at a police station. This wasn't court ordered. Again, he called her slut, started calling her a whole bunch of names in front of his mama, but his mama didn't hear none of that. Oh, she couldn't hear none of that. But as soon as Nikki started reacting, oh, she saw that. Oh, why are you doing that? Listen. Y'all already know where I'm going with this. So. At this point, I'm highly upset because why would you want to inflict that trauma on our daughters? Having changeover with their parents at the police station every week, he just wanted to manipulate their minds and paint the picture that mom was dangerous and that dad needed protection. I agree. There is no reason why there should be pickup and drop-offs at the police station, period. Like, none at all. If anything, if he didn't feel comfortable with the pickup and drop-offs, he could have gotten someone else to go in place of him. Like, there's no reason at all. I just don't see the reason for that. But, again, I smacked the camera out of his hand because I was in a vulnerable moment and didn't want to be recorded. This was a pattern where he constantly violated me by filming me without consent. It started early at 18. So he did groom her. He waited till she was 18, y'all. I had a feeling, but I couldn't prove it because I didn't have enough proof. But now we have enough proof. This man groomed her, y'all. If you're going to date an older guy, talk to an older woman so she could suss him out. Because we could sniff a bum from a mile away. Trust and believe me, y'all. Then I gave... Okay, so listen. At the age of 18, he started filming her without her consent. Then when I gave birth, he posted my very personal birth vlogs without giving me any time to emotionally recover. I remember begging him to give me time with our new baby before we shared her with the world, but he told me to stop sabotaging the channel. Yeah, because remember, he was all about the bag. He was all about the money. And at that point, he was resentful towards her because she wasn't contributing enough. And so he felt like, hey, it's my channel, my way or the highway. And so this is what you have. You have someone controlling her. Financially, emotionally, and physically controlling her. Because remember, he didn't want her to cut her hair. Controlling. When the cameras were rolling, Jamie was very sweet to me, but behind the lens, he was highly critical. I believe it. My body after children quickly became a main topic, and he expressed me needing to hit the gym 3 weeks postpartum with Ava. He would repeatedly comment on my stretch marks and loose skin, asking why I just couldn't snap back. I'm not surprised at all, because based on how he looked at her as property and the way that he was micromanaging her hairstyles and just how she was as a person and how she presented herself, I'm not surprised in the slightest. He blamed me for absolutely everything. Nothing I could do was right, and I was at fault for anything that went wrong in his life. I agree. Those text messages were very telling, sis. I already know. You ain't had to tell me. I don't know how you dealt with that. Shortly after that encounter, he tried to get a restraining order on me. Not only did he put himself down as a protected person, but also our 2 young daughters. If he was successful in obtaining that, I could not come within 200 meters of them. His mother enabled his behavior and signed as a witness that she saw me beating him in front of the children. The clip you saw of me smacking the phone, and they took this evidence to court. Like I done told y'all, behind every narc, there's an enabling mother. And narcs are naturally attracted to empaths. Catch my drift. I put a counter complaint on him, and it was up to the judge to decide. He knows there's nothing I love more than our daughters, so he used that footage to silence me. We never went before a judge. Instead, he had his lawyer present an undertaking, which conveniently included that the children could continue being filmed for YouTube. Oh, now it makes sense. Okay, so he done concocted this whole situation. And the only reason he dropped it is because he wanted the kids to continue being filmed for YouTube. Because remember, when he had the kids every other week, he wasn't able to film them because she felt like he was exploiting the kids. And he explained that, no, I'm not exploiting the kids. And the kids always want to be filmed. And that they're happy being filmed. Sir, they are children. They have known nothing but YouTube their whole life. There's been a camera shoved up in front of their face since the time they came out of their mama's woo-ha. How would they know a life other than being filmed for content? Anyways, let's continue reading this. It also included that we couldn't mention one another or our relationship online for 12 months. We both signed it because I had no intention of making this public and didn't want to risk the chance of not seeing our girls. He has been free to speak on this since 2020. Lord, oh Lord, here goes the court paperwork. Child, this is messy. Whew, let's continue. I never kept him from the kids. I said you can see them whenever you want. All I ask is that he stop exploiting them. I saw how it affected me in the marriage, and I didn't want our kids to suffer the same confusion because dad was totally different when the cameras were on. Yep, he used her for content. And you know who else said that too? I did a video on Remy Ma and Papoose. And she said that Papoose was trying to exploit their relationship in the black love genre, and how he would only act a certain way when the cameras were on, but when the cameras turned off, he was a completely different person. In 2020, Jamie messaged my sister and was trying to get me back once he saw his views were still low, despite using the kids for the majority of his content. I had already filed for divorce, but he wanted me to change my mind. He came to my parents' house. We went for a walk, and he told me he wanted his family back. Whew, thank God for discernment. She knew that he only used her for content, and she peeped game. Nikki's a smart cookie. She's very intelligent, and she knew that when all of this situation was going on, when this whole situation happened, and he done did all this to her, and now all of a sudden he wants her back. Let's continue. He claims I was vengeful, but after I left, he stole the channel, changed password to the business email so I couldn't work with past clients, and changed our bank details on AdSense so the revenue from our past vlogs went to his personal account. This man took everything from her. So she didn't even really get her money's worth for being featured on this channel, and she was the main breadwinner on that channel. She was the one making all of the bank. Other than the kids, she was the one that really catapulted this channel, especially when they were married. He kept the vlogs for himself, leaving me with zero memories of our children. I requested my full birth videos, but he kept them from me for 3.5 years. He used this as leverage so that I changed my stance on him making content with the girls. Part of the reason I vlogged was to have a memory diary of our babies as they grew, but he kept these from me too. Lord, I even asked for footage of my sister Sarah. He had all the hard drives and he told me they were destroyed. Please keep in mind my sister isn't alive anymore, and they were the only videos of her I had to look back and remember her. He knew our children and my sister were a sensitive spot for me, so he would use these two things to control me. Oh, Lord. Jamie's health issues never stopped him from partying with his Lord. Hold on. So now, Now Nikki goes in on him. And I'm glad she did this response. This was better than a video, sis. This was the best response. I feel like this was way more effective than a video chat. Because when I'm reading this, I'm like, this man, I knew he was full of shit. Jamie's health issues never stopped him from partying with friends, never stopped him from taking trips overseas while I looked after our children. When I did ask for assistance, he would throw it in my face that I was the one who wanted kids, so I find it interesting that he claims he's too sick to work a regular job. Not only that, but I find it very interesting that now he's a stand-up dad, and I'm such a great dad, and I've always wanted to be a great dad, but yet he didn't want to have kids, right? I even gave him ideas on what he could film. I told him he could make video editing content as he's a great editor or work a traditional job. I'm not limiting his capacity to earn. I simply put my foot down and said, don't exploit our children for monetary gain like he did with me, period. Jamie kept dragging me back to court and writing complaints to my lawyers constantly. The legal fees he incurred were self-inflicted. This man is insane. He's a menace. This man is a menace, y'all. All of these guys that I've covered all have a similar pattern, yo. And I'm going to have to make a video on that. They all have a similar pattern. They all are under the same umbrella. His 40th birthday. Let's address it. On Jamie's birthday, the girls had school. They mentioned Dad was going to Sydney for his birthday. See, the children be talking. He was aware she had a dental emergency, so I took the next available appointment, which happened to fall on Friday. I offered for him to take them instead as it was an emergency, and he said he would rather take them out for ice cream so he doesn't miss his flight. The appointment was at 5 p.m. I picked the girls up from the local ice cream place at 4:40, and we went to our appointment. Jamie then left for the airport at 5 to catch a flight to Sydney. Okay, so he had no problems, but then he got all the smoke now. The dad play group. At this point of co-parenting, I had reached my tolerance and wanted minimal in-person contact with him for the sake of Ava and Zoe. He would always have his phone out trying to bait a disagreement with me because I didn't want them being used in content. I asked him to put Zoe in school on a Wednesday so I could completely avoid contact with him. One parent drops them off and the other one picks them up. This seemed like a great solution, but of course he fought me on this too. Had there been work obligations restricting him from changing his schedule, I would completely understand, but there wasn't. I told y'all there wasn't. He just didn't want to do it. He couldn't be bothered. He wasn't working. He had only been to this play group one time. He could have made other arrangements for the sake of healthy co-parenting. Y'all, I'm not even done yet. We got one more video. You know what? I'm going to give y'all the synopsis of that video. I'm tired. Disney. I had to take legal action for my girls to even attend school at their ages. In Australia, you start school at 5 or 6, depending on how early in the year you were born. Jamie wanted them to delay another year so he can milk them for views while they were in his care. I said, no, damn. Yo, Nikki's fed up. She don't give a damn. Nikki's like, I'm exposing everything. Since you want to sit on here lying in front of them folks, in front of the public, I'm going to really air your business out. We live in Australia and California was a very far flight and he had never taken them out of the country alone. I didn't want them to go, but I offered to come so the girls didn't miss out on the experience. But he knew if I was there, I wouldn't like filming them as much, so he made co-parenting the issue. I wanted to put our issues aside and give the girls some happy memories with both their parents. Okay, now I understand the whole Disney situation. All right, this makes sense. I brought up the matter of schooling because he took me to court and forced me to send the girls to this very expensive private school. This was his request and I'm not responsible for their expenses. Of course you are. He wanted to get back. He wanted you to pay for all the stuff that he felt like he had to pay for when y'all was married. You owe him because remember, you ain't paid a mortgage when you did. He felt like you should have paid the rest of the house. Even though he probably sold the house and made the money back. But, you know, I don't understand how a narc's mind works. I'm not a narc, so I couldn't understand that logic. Depression is not something I would ever take lightly. The comments I made on the recorded audio were not okay. Before he pressed record, he was calling me crazy and said I needed psychiatric help, threatening to take full custody of our kids, so I stooped to his level. Okay. Yeah, and that's never the right way to do it. I think that when somebody, I ain't gonna lie though, when you go low, I'm gonna go and take you to the depths of hell. So I'm not gonna lie, I do have that behavior. However, when it comes to dealing with the father of your child or the mother of your child, it's best not to stoop to their level, because you won't have to deal with this person for the rest of your life, unfortunately. You have to choose your battles wisely, especially when it comes to someone you have to deal with on a regular basis to some capacity. This isn't an excuse, and I apologize if these statements cause offense to anyone. Okay, she took accountability for it. Long story short, this was a very manipulative and calculated attack on not only myself, but this act will also cause collateral damage to our 2 children. This was a 4-year-old clip, and now these clips will remain online forever. Facts. I have moved on with my life. I'm in a loving, genuine relationship, and I'm finally at peace. This smear campaign was made not only to garner sympathy from his audience, but to revive a stagnant YouTube channel, sell an unreleased children's book, and completely slander my reputation. And also, he mad because he moved on, girl. She said it. She's in a loving, genuine relationship. He found out and he crashed out. That's what it was. Jamie wanted revenge for me putting my foot down and restricting how often he posts the girls online. It disheartens me that I need to even make these statements, because most people with discernment can see it for what it is. We sure can. We clocked it. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to read this. To Ava and Zoe, I'm so sorry. Sis, you ain't got nothing to be sorry for. You're just responding to your ex-husband. The man-child. That's what we gonna continue calling him. All right, now. Oh, Lord. Here we go. Jamie done came out with another video following that, y'all. All right. Listen, I gotta continue on with this case study. All right, let's do this. All right, so I'm gonna try to wrap this up now. In his video titled "My Response to Nikki's Allegations," he basically denies everything that she said. And he goes on to just talk about what really occurred with the whole Disneyland trip. Y'all, I really don't care what this man gotta say, to be quite honest with you. From the time that I found out that he was befriending her while she was underage, it was raps for me. Nothing you could say to me right now is going to convince me that this woman is a villain. I cannot be convinced of that. Especially not during Women's History Month. It's not gonna happen. So now he goes on and he plays a voice message of her basically saying that she has everything to lose and he has nothing to lose because he doesn't have friends or family. And then he gets butthurt because she said that. Child. Again, this is remedial behavior. I can't comprehend the remedialness of this. Now, about the AdSense situation, he's refuting that as well and saying that she tried to lock him out the accounts, but then he found out and then he got the accounts back and he got the last laugh. Childish again. This man really think he talking to kindergartners. I don't know who his supporters are. Again, I'm not trying to knock his hustle because everybody deserves to eat and feed their children. But if you're gonna watch him, just be entertained, but do not believe anything this man talking about in these videos. Like, I honestly don't. But I respect people who know that they're watching someone who is not being authentic 100%, but you just enjoy the content. Just do that. Just enjoy the content for what it is and enjoy the little, enjoy his cute children and give them the views, support the children. That's all I'm going to say, because this man obviously has an issue up there and he needs to resolve this. This was a year ago, so a lot has changed and maybe he has changed. He has turned over a new leaf, but, I don't know. His response just wasn't really hitting the way that he thought it would. So that's the end of that, y'all. Since then, Nikki has been getting prepared to welcome her new bundle of joy into the world. And
my little love nest, making a human being for the past few months. I feel like I was going to share this sooner, but I was just in such peace and harmony. I just wanted to stay in that little bubble a little bit longer.
She is in such a healthy place spiritually, mentally, and physically.
I contain my excitement. I came here the other day and I put some of my kitchen things in here just to sort of get a vibe. It's very echoey in here, obviously, because there's nothing in here. But I woke up this morning and I was in a bit of a reflective mood because I was on my laptop checking emails, and then I went onto YouTube. An old vlog of mine got suggested to me. It was literally 5 years ago when I first moved into that house. It was our first Christmas there, and I was decorating the place for Christmas. I guess it just made me sort of reflect on the past 5 years and just the growth that has happened and how different everything is from then and now. It's just kind of a night and day difference. When I see what I looked like when I first moved in there, like, I was like this thin, stressed. I was doing so much behind the scenes that nobody really knew about. Yeah, there's been a lot of discourse lately about, you know, my happiness, and I seem so at peace, which is awesome. I'm glad that sort of comes across because that's genuinely how I feel. I guess I just wanted to sort of encourage anybody that is going through something that feels really impossible. Like, you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I just wanted to let you know that, like, I was that person. I was really stuck in this place that was really horrible for a very long time. It honestly just requires you to do the work, working on yourself, getting that healing, breaking those bad habits, putting up those boundaries, okay? Boundaries is a huge one. I honestly was that person that was always people-pleasing, always putting everybody's needs before mine. But the minute that I started enforcing my boundaries and just having the respect for myself to enforce those boundaries and not be bullied out of them all the time, I think that's when my true happiness really came about. We teach people how to treat us.
This is at peace, and that's all I would want for her, because what she had to endure, no woman should have to endure. This man took her through the ringer, and we can clearly tell that he lacks accountability, y'all. I can't even imagine what she had to put up with. As far as Jamie goes, the last thing that he said was that he was driving Uber and trying to make ends meet. He is still filming content and taking his daughters all over Australia and letting them have different experiences. So I guess his money is coming up, and who knows what he's doing, but I wish him well on his endeavors as well. Now, as far as the comments go, I'll say this really quickly and then I'm going to end the video. This man looks physically exhausted. He has the right to tell his story and has the right to give a rebuttal to any statements he thinks is being presented incorrectly. Same as Nikki. I don't know why y'all mad at this man. It's ridiculous that people believe her without receipts but refuse to believe Jamie with receipts. Abusive behavior is never acceptable, whether a man or a woman. That is very true. I agree that she shouldn't have smacked the phone out of his hand and she shouldn't have reacted in that way. But again, when you're provoked, you can't then get upset when people retaliate. That's the thing. So every action has a reaction. Just remember that. Somebody said, Jamie, I am a woman and I believe you. You have receipts. She doesn't. Y'all are in the sunken place. Did y'all read the receipts? Y'all must have not read the receipts. And whoever his fandom is, please come to this video and let me. Anyway, y'all must have not read the receipts, because I read them and those receipts did not work in his favor at all. They actually proved that he is unhinged. And with that being said, that is the end of this video. What are the lessons that we can learn from this case study? Lesson number 1. Beware of age gap relationships, especially when you are in your younger years. Please, if an older guy seems too good to be true, chances are he is. Lesson number 2. Never date or marry a mama's boy, especially one who doesn't hold him accountable and enables him. Lesson number 3 is that your man should not be adding stress to your life. And when you marry a husband and someone who's really there to protect you and provide for you and take care of you, he should be wanting to improve your life and not make your life worse. That is not love. That is a form of control when he's trying to make you do things according to what he wants in his timeline. That is not true love. And I would say that you have to be very careful with that. Usually these signs show up when you're dating. However, she didn't have enough time to date him, because remember, the first time that they dated, he cheated on her. They broke up. He spun the block. And then 6 months later, he asked her to marry him. And that was around the time, conveniently, that she was starting to blow up in modeling. Notice in their engagement video, he had all these pictures of her modeling. The next lesson that we can learn from this case study is to please work out your daddy issues. A lot of us have daddy issues and we don't even realize it. What I would suggest for everyone is to definitely get some counseling and get some help and learn to identify and get rid of the patterns that are leading to harmful behaviors, especially when you're choosing your mate. This is very important, y'all, because your mate can either add to your life and enrich your life, or they can destroy your life. Y'all, I am exhausted with this story. I am done. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Again, keep it cute or I will block you. Until next time, take care of your beautiful selves and bye.